Mai lambar na Zulum bai ga zama ba.
Da birnin mu da ƙauye na jihar Borno su bunƙasa ba zai yarda a lalata gida ba.
Kamfatin raya ƙananan hukumomi na Borno gwamnatin Baba Gana ba ta yi zama ba. Tuni ta yunkura aiki yayi nisa gun farfaɗo da
The Borno State government, under the leadership of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, has transformed Borno through massive infrastructure and human capital development in the last 3 years. The governor's transformation drives cuts across all sectors with a view to restoring the socio-economic development of the state, which suffered serious setback due to the over a decade-long insurgency that resulted in the loss of thousands of lives and destructions of properties worth billions of naira and thousands more injured. The effects of insurgency also led to the collapse of economic activities in the state. With the coming of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum-led administration, the state started seeing light at the end of the tunnel as governor came off with the determination and political will to change negative narratives of Borno State for the better. On assumption of office in May 2019, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum came off with multidimensional strategies and approaches to restore the lost glory of the state. The governor's 25-year development plan and 10-year strategic policies sets out the state's priorities and goals to serve as action plans for short, medium, and long-term plans that will take Borno to the promised land. To achieve these set objectives, which requires huge resources, the governor identified key areas that required urgent government attention to fast-track the process of economic recovery to put the state on its right track for socio-economic development. To ensure stable and sustained economic recovery as contained in the development plan, the government embarked on massive infrastructural development such as reconstruction of road and drainage networks, resettlements of thousands of internally displaced communities, revival of agricultural activities, among many other projects which were executed in the last 3 years. In the period under review, the governor unveiled and executed many economic empowerment programs for women and youths, in addition to distribution of livelihood income support, soft loans and grants to small-scale businessmen and women, as well as direct and indirect jobs created for skilled and unskilled youths through the construction of physical structures to boost people purchasing power and sparse cash in circulation to avert poverty and reduce social vices in the state. To ensure stability and sustenance of these huge development projects, the governor took bold steps in resuscitation the dormant government's revenue-generating agencies with a view to supporting the administration's quest of rebuilding Borno State. One of such agencies is Borno Investment Company Limited.
Governor of Borno State under my leadership is very much aware of the commitment of the managing director of this company, and therefore we shall do everything possible within the little resources that we have to invest in this company with a view to increasing the capacity of the company.
Established in 1981 with the mandate for promoting business opportunities, entrepreneurship and industrial development by managing government's investment within and outside the state, the company equally having interface with the federal agencies and private establishments to manage and advise government in the course of its investment and other related matters.
Well, Borno Investment Company was incorporated as a private limited liability company in 1981, and it started operations in 1987. Basically what it does is to promote the economic development of the state. How does it do that? One, they manage investments of the state. Two, they manage relationships with all agencies of the state, of the federal government residing in the state. They provide information on where to invest and how to invest. Basically, that's what Borno Investment does. In terms of interface with federal agencies like the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council, the Raw Materials Development and Research Council, the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency. All these agencies set up by federal government within each of the states to spearhead the development of those states. And Borno Investment interfaces with those agencies for the betterment of the state.
The government, under the leadership of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, injected huge amount of money as capital for Borno Investment Company to stand on its feet, in addition to providing legal backing, human resources, conducive working environment, and other necessary administrative structures needed to stimulate its operations to ensure that state-owned companies to sit up to their responsibilities and contribute their quota to economic development of the state.
One of the key requests we put up to the government was the recapitalization of the company, because I think initially when it was incorporated, the share capital was less than 100 million naira. But now we made a submission to the state government through the executive council, and the recapitalization of the company was approved to the tune of 2 billion naira to be spread over a period of 4 years. And alhamdulillah, we've so far received about 1 billion naira from the state government. Okay. We thank His Excellency for this effort. That is one. The second aspect is the issue of direction in terms of policy. The company had its last board of directors in 1999 to 2003. That was the last time the company had board. And based on our rules and regulation and the Companies and Allied Matters Act, and even the requirements of the regulatory agencies, private limited liability companies must have a functional board that can guide the operations in terms of policy and whatnot. That one too, His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, constituted a board for us, and we kickstarted our operations in earnest. That's the second aspect of it. Third, the company was operating in a rented quarter. So we put up a memo too. His Excellency gave us this land that you are seeing, and funded the process of constructing this new head office, which is a 2-story building, and we are now occupying our office. That's one of the third success we had. And in terms of staffing, of course, when we came in, most of the competent hands have left. So what we did was we contacted the Ministry of Science and Technology through their job bank, and they gave us access. We scouted for young and talented, competent hands. We called them for discussions and subsequent interviews. As I'm talking to you now, we have about 8 graduates, which we employed between 2000 and 2021. And they're up and doing. We are giving them adequate training for them to be able to do their jobs very well.
So far, the tremendous efforts made by Governor has started yielding positive results, as company has started paying back by remitting profits to government as required, and begins recovery of different companies and assets outside the state and put them into use.
Borno Supply Company was down. With the intervention of the state government, we were able to resuscitate the filling station along GRA, and then we bought additional filling station along Gamborungala Highway, rehabilitated it, and it's now ready for operations. We bought 3 trucks fully equipped for transportation of petroleum products to the company. And we are now making plans to acquire additional filling stations, at least to ease the dispensing of fuel within the state. That's another aspect of the state hotel. State hotel too was almost not functional due to the insurgency. The state hotel stopped operations completely because of government officials that were kept in the state hotel for quite some time. So when we came in, we advised that the state hotel should be renovated and then allowed to function as a commercial entity. This was received by the state government, and monies were made available through direct labor, and we have reached almost 90% stage of completion. And by God's grace, we hope to finish this before the year runs out and start commercial operations, and for the benefit of the state. The other issue was the lingering issue of staff salaries for staff of the state hotel and those of international hotel. We recall international hotel was gutted by fire in 2011. So the staff were not laid off, but government, in the spirit of magnanimity by His Excellency, continued paying their salaries up to last year, where we advised government that, look, since the state hotel is being renovated, and we hope it will operate as a private limited liability company with the aim of making profit and paying government dividends, we advise that let there be payoff for all the staff in the state hotel and those in the international hotel. After our renovation exercise, we will engage those who find fit to run the hotel and continue from where we stopped.
The managing director of Borno Investment Company Limited, Alhaji Muhammad Bukar Umar, disclosed that as a result of commitment of current administration to restore and stabilize the state economy across sectors, some of the subsidiary industries under state-owned investment company are back to life, while some will soon have new looks owing to the massive rehabilitation going on.
Borno Plastic is doing very well. Under that Borno Plastic, we have about 5 different industries. The PVC pipe making, the plastic chairs, we have the drip irrigation, we have the net making, and then we have the mat making companies, and then what we call the polypropylene sacks. These are all under one roof, under the management of the Borno Plastic Company, headed by Engineer Abacha Jarawa, and they are doing very well in that respect. The other areas that we have investment in is a joint ownership. Natal Shoe Factory, for instance, is jointly owned by Borno and Yobe states, and effort is being now made with, to resuscitate the company, because most of the machineries there have outlived their usefulness. Retooling that company is a huge cost that cannot be borne by the government. So we're looking for external investors or interested investors to come and partner with us and see to it that the company is revived, because Natal is the only tannery and shoemaking factory combined in the entire northeastern states, and the market for tan products is there. So what we are now trying to do is we continue to engage with the public and interested investors to make sure that Natal starts working very well. Where Nail, we have issues with the location and even the condition of the company. It has been down for a very long time. We've made attempts to see that it starts working, and suddenly we are hit by this issue of electricity, and the cost of diesel has proven so high that we cannot contemplate start working on Wire and Nail. But by far, the most important investment government has made so far is the industrial park. There you have a lot of companies there which have reached certain level of completion, but not yet completed for them to be able to generate revenue for the state government. And even at that, efforts is being made now to ensure that some of them, at least the solar panel assembly plant is put to completion.
Engineer Abacha Jarawa is the general manager Borno Plastic Industries Limited, who attested that the present administration under Professor Babagana Umar Zulum took the giant stride to resuscitate and reposition the company. Engineer Jarawa said, with the appointment of Muhammad Bakar Umar as managing director of Borno Investment Company Limited by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum in 2019, Boplas witnessed tremendous changes in its operations and access to market. More importantly, he said, he succeeded in bringing in the company to play a key role in providing plastic furniture to various schools, aligned with the administration's resolve to rebuild and resuscitate all hitherto destroyed schools with a view to providing functional education to ensure steady growth of the company and contributes its quota in revenue generation and create jobs to the teeming unemployed youths.
I was appointed as the general manager of this company by Professor Babagana Umar Zulum on the 20th of January 2020. So far since I came into this company has witnessed a tremendous change in operations, in diversifications, and in access to market during the leadership and the stewardship of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum. One important thing that has helped this company grow is bringing in Boplas Industries Limited to key into the mega school project being done by the governor in the state. So Boplas, being a partner of the mega school project, was able to make supplies of school furnitures to almost all the mega school. This has tremendously, in business sense, helped the company grow and thrive to the height of its aspiration.
The general manager also shed more light on the production capacity of Boplas as a result of massive improvement by present administration under Professor Babagana Umar Zulum.
Boplas Industries Limited, as from the name, most people think Boplas Industries Limited refers to Borno plastic industry, in which I myself, before appointed as a general manager, I thought Boplas means Borno plastic companies. But when I was appointed into this office and I came in, I realized, after checking the documents of corporate documents of the company, I noticed that it doesn't really mean Borno plastic company, but it's a Borno plastic allied and other steel and other machinery company. This company, included in the certificate of incorporation, can diversify to so many businesses in terms of plastic and plastic allied products, in terms of agric, also in terms of steel processing and other manufacturing. Here, accompanied to the company. So right now we have about 6 basic companies within Boplas Industries Limited. One, we have the PVC extrusion factory, a 7-line extrusion line for PVC pipe with a capacity of up to 15 kilometers per day, and each line will employ more than 10 people directly and over 20 people indirectly. So within the Boplas PVC line alone, we have over 70 direct staffs. And then as the value chain is concerned, we'll have more than 30 people accompanying to each and every production line. And then secondly, we also have the molding injection factory, which is one of our factories that is currently running 100% capacity. A molding injection factory is an interchangeable production line where you produce almost everything within the sizing of that particular equipment. You can produce farm equipment, kitchenwares, pipes, furnitures, depending. So the machine will accept a wide range of molds. You will just replace the mold and produce what you want. So that particular line also has over 38 staffs working directly in the company in a double shift arrangement. We also have the drip irrigation kit extrusion line, a factory where we produce drip irrigation. We extrude drip tubes for irrigation. So this company, we have 2 production lines also with a capacity of 19 kilometers per day each production. And then this particular plant also have over 15 people working at hand. And then we have the woven sack factory, which showcases 2 basic units. The first unit is that of the HDPE extrusion and yarning line, then we go into weaving, and then the secondary processing. In this particular company, we have the tailoring units where the saris are being tailored at the end of the production. We have the weaving units also where the yarn is being weaved, and we have the extrusion unit where the yarn is being extruded, and then we have the material sorting and the mixing unit also as well. So this particular company also at the moment, we have 2 plants. One resides in our headquarters in number 2 Auno Street, very close to Kumshe, and one residing here at the Center of Excellence, the Industrial Park, where we have 18 looms here and shuttles, 6 shuttle 18 looms, and we have 4 shuttles 12 looms here within the town. So this particular factory self-showcases over 42 workers working directly. And then we have the PP mat factory where we make the mat factory. So that particular factory, we are being supported by the able government of Professor Babagana Umara Zulum, who supported the installation of these particular machines. The machines are fully installed and ready to work. The matter of business now, we are waiting for some raw materials to arrive at the moment to start producing the mat. We create more direct and indirect jobs, because the mat is being heavily imported by neighboring countries, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger, which is very nearby. So as a business sense is concerned, it's a very viable business for this particular region.
SOPA, the managing director of Borno Investment Company Limited, Alhaji Muhammad Bakar Umar, said company has succeeded not only in repositioning of companies and industries owned by the state, but also retrieved and revived company assets and properties outside the state, some which were abandoned for many years.
Before, we never had the chance to trade in stock, and what I mean by stock trading is that we buy and sell shares and make money from that. And thankfully too, with the assistance of the state government, funds were made available to us, and we trade, we make gains, and then we employ it back into the operations of the company. Other aspects of success which we recorded included the handing over of the GSM market for management to Borno Investment Company, the handing over of the Borno House in Abuja, a 7-story edifice which was completed by the administration of His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulum. And then even the management of properties located in Uye, Abuja, and Gorimpa was handed over to Borno Investment, and we charge commercial rates. When we collect rent, we remit same to the state government. And we do the same for properties in Kaduna. For instance, the Kaduna hotels is under lease now. We have a landed property too in a very choice location in Kaduna, which was leased out, and whatever we receive, we remit to the state government accordingly. That is the situation. We are now making plans to renovate the Lagos properties. We have about 3 properties in Lagos, which are also handed over to us for management. Plan is now on ground to renovate them, sweat them, make them functional, so that government can earn revenue on those assets. They've been there for ages without contributing anything. So these are some of the little successes we've recorded in terms of our operations within the last 2 to 3 years.
Nital Shoe and Tannery Factory is another viable jointly owned by Borno and Yobe states, but abandoned for many years. With the effort made by the Governor Zulum, the company was able to commence skeleton services, as plans are underway to restore it within the shortest possible time.
After all, like I said, we were just coming out from a challenge that was a threat to the very existence of the company. But with the help of this administration, we were able to weather the storm and come up with plans to make the company work. Basically, funding has always been an issue. But like I stated earlier, the capitalization of the company to the tune of 2 billion naira will help us invest in revenue generating ventures for us to sustain ourselves, make profit, and pay government dividends. So we hope the recapitalization issue, which is on track, will be carried out to the latter. That is one. Secondly, we have challenges in terms of this joint ownership of assets. Natal is one of them. The Borno State government has been spending money taking care of Natal, while the ownership is between Borno and Yobe states. We don't receive any support from Yobe state. That is one. The second company that Borno is managing to is the Nigerian Food Company, which is located in Lagos. That one too is under the care of Borno, and we spend a huge amount of money, especially on the backlog of leased properties, outstanding payments, which are able to settle. On the other side too, we have the Nguru oil mills located in Nguru, and the headquarters of the Nigerian Food Company. There's a factory there in Nguru, which is being managed by Yobe Investment. And then we have jointly owned properties both in Kaduna and Lagos as part of the asset sharing arrangement. This ownership of a single property being owned by two entities, in this case Borno and Yobe State, has created problem because we don't seem to agree exactly on what to do with those properties.
Alhaji Muhammad Bukar Umar extolled the leadership qualities of Governor Babagana Umar Zulum and how he was able to transform every sector within the last 3 years, saying his leadership style is one that can hardly be found elsewhere.
His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum is a household name in this country. Over the past 3 years, he has exhibited rare leadership qualities you hardly find in any governor in the entire country. His leadership style, frankly speaking, is all-inclusive. What I mean by that is that, take for instance the 25-year development plan, which he initiated at the beginning of his administration. That plan, if there is any plan anywhere, may not compare with what we have there, because it started at the world level. The engagement started at the world level. Indigenous of Borno were called, sit down and pinpoint areas that they need government to assist in making life better for the state. That was how the 25-year development plan started. And from that world level, those to the local government level, to the state level, up to the time members of the UNDP came in and assisted in developing of that plan. But the input to that plan came from the grassroots. And that is what His Excellency has been executing. And that is why you find out that in almost every aspect of administration of this state, His Excellency has excelled. Talk about returning IDPs to their domains. Talk about opening the border markets. Talk about pensioners. Talk about infrastructure. Talk about the land reforms that has actually helped in securing and making the acquisition of land very easy and fast. And that is one of the key issues when it comes to putting up an enabling business environment. Most companies, when they come in, they look at your land reforms and then see if they can acquire assets with ease and they can get permits to construct these things. This has been taken care of completely. Then we talk about regular payment of salary. That is not even an issue in Borno State. So by and large, if I may say, His Excellency's style of leadership is one of the best you can get in this country, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend to all other states to follow. He has done well, and we pray God will continue to guide him to be able to continue delivering the dividend of democracy to the people of Borno State.
The governor, Engineer Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, is passionate about taking Borno to a greater height. Borno is our home. Let's make it great together.
A batun raya kananan hukumomi.
gwamnan Borno Zulum bai ga zama ba.